image and wondered how can such ethereal beauty be captured in a single frame? Well, this is exactly what you'd find in every work by Francesco Gola. Born into the heart of Italy, Francesco discovered his passion for photography early in his life. He then went ahead to venture and capture the world around him with a camera in his hand.
I remember that when I was a kid and I was going on holiday with my parents, my father always had a camera with him, and even when I was a kid I started to play with it. And so I think that probably when I grew up and I was always interested in art and in these kind of things, I started to ask my father the permission to use the camera, and I think that was the reason why everything started, because I really felt comfortable having something in my hands that can let me, let's say, transmit my passion, transmit my feelings and emotions. So I started to play with it, and it ended like that. I was born and grew up in a valley, so very far from the sea. So at the beginning you can say that there is no a very connection to the sea or anything similar. But then, due to the work I was doing, I was moved to a sea location in Italy where I lived. And there I started to be attracted by the sea, because it was really, I don't know, a kind of calming subject, something really relaxing to me. And so when I was finishing my shift at work, I was used to go to walk in front of the sea just to chill and just to relax. And then I started to have this relationship with it. After a while, and after I understood that, let's say, seascape photography was my cup of tea, let's say, I decided to experiment even some techniques. And the one that I really tried to continue to do was the long exposure technique. So basically, as you can see in this picture, this technique is like having the shutter of your camera open for a few seconds or even minutes. Actually, here is more minutes than seconds. And so basically, you are not capturing just what you have in front of you, but it's more like transmitting to the camera your feelings and what you are feeling in front of the landscape. So basically, this technique, it became my way to tell some stories, and the story was not just the landscape that I had in front, but really what I was feeling in front of it. Yeah, that for me is really a struggle, honestly, because especially if I look at the ocean situation, you see that there is so much pollution, plastic, microplastic, and so every year when I make an exhibition like that and I sell prints, part of the picture, the money that I get is always for charity projects. And I also try on the educational process, because I love to take pictures, but also I'm a photographer educator. I try to teach people to be respectful with nature, because I feel that if you don't teach people to be respectful, it's hard that maybe they think about that without knowing what's behind the pollution. Well, actually, I'm an engineer formally, so I'm really curious about technology and the technology development. So I'm really happy to see every year a new camera with new function, new features. And so I try to take advantage of technology. I don't see technology as an enemy. Regarding AI now, especially generative AI, you can create everything. Probably you can recreate this exhibit just with a prompt. But what I feel you can't recreate is the experience that you have in the field and the emotion that you get from looking at the picture. And that feeling, I feel, is stronger if you can just if you don't just look at the picture on a screen, but if you you have a print in your hands. For me, looking at these images and holding in my hand these images is like a way to reconnect to the world where I was when I was taking my picture. So it's like a way to travel back in time. Let's say that there are more than one thing, I would say. So for sure, in the photographical process, As I'm a landscape photographer, the big struggle is to manage the weather, because you can plan everything, but at the end, Mother Nature is always in charge of everything. So for every picture that you see here, there are dozen and dozen of failed attempts. But I mean, when you get a good picture or you feel you have something, it's even more rewarding. And then in general, for, let's say, from the business point of view, in a world where we are now with a kind of over communication, social network, and a lot of, let's call it, noise, I think it's quite hard to stand out. And sometimes I was in struggle, and I was really close to give up, honestly, in photography. But then I understood that the real purpose of photography is not to show something to somebody else, but probably is something for myself, is to show something to myself. Photography is like a therapy, a meditation, and so the biggest struggle was to understand that I was doing something for myself. Absolutely yes, and my message is to try and to try again, to never give up, to fail and to learn from failure. I mean, you will never start into something being already a master of it. I'm not master of anything now, and I have still many things to learn. So try different things, find your passion, and for sure you will find a way to succeed.
As we immerse into Francesco's photographic tapestry, we not only witness moments frozen in time, but we also step into a realm where the harmony of nature and the ethereal beauty of dreams align to form a mesmerizing narrative. This is Ankitha Shibu with camera person Zara reporting from Xposure International Photography Festival 2024 for Manipal Dubai TV.